On this episode of the Sports Mules, we'll discuss Major League Baseball's arm problem. We'll go over the first round of the NBA playoffs. We'll go over the first round of the NFL draft. We'll discuss why the WNBA and their fans should probably take an economics class. Not quite a robot up yet, but we're getting there. And is that another voice I hear? Please, God, let it be another actual human being. I can't get this medication changed again. Please let it be a person. Wake up, Mules Nation. Time to dig in. Welcome to the program. However you're listening, whenever you're listening, thank you for making us a part of your day. And when I say us today, it's not just me and Salem. For the first time, welcome to the program, the actual Mules HOFer. More importantly, my brother, Josh Carter. Welcome to the program, sir.
Awesome to be here. Awesome to be here, brother.
So we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Contrary to everybody's beliefs, I do actually prepare for some of these things. So I do have a quick question before we get started. Over under Major League references made in this episode?
Oh man, 5.
5? Okay, let me write that down. Over under 5. Just have to make sure that we check it off as we get one. So speaking of Major League references, we'll start off with the issue. I want to say Major League Baseball, but it's more baseball of an issue of pitchers running into injuries, mostly the elbow, but I mean, there's some shoulder, but it's mostly the elbow that seems to be the people are blowing out. What do you think the cause is? Because I know the players union has come out and said, you know, the change. Well, first of all, the pitch clock is a problem, and then the change to the pitch clock to give them even it's 2 seconds less when somebody's on base or whatever it is. That's leading to it. I don't understand how that could be it, but what are your thoughts on what the problems are?
The players' union is full of nonsense.
Yes.
The issue has zero to do with the pitch clock. The issue is that guys are throwing way hard or putting way harder than they have ever thrown before as a unit, as a group. And they're putting way more stress on their elbow. And to be honest, their mechanics stink because kids are throwing so many more innings when they're younger on all these travel leagues and fall ball leagues with poor mechanics, and nobody is teaching them until they get to the pros to get to proper mechanics. And once they get there, it's hard to change your mechanics and maintain your velocity. So eventually the ligament says, you know what, I'm good. Snap. Like, I don't care how much, I don't care who you are. If you pull a rubber band enough, it's gonna pop, and that's what these guys are doing.
And I don't think because a lot of these, like Tommy John surgery nowadays, is like just going for a physical. Like back in the day, you got Tommy Johns, it was over. You were done. Go learn how to sell cars or insurance because you weren't going to be able to pitch anymore. Now it's just like maintenance to go in and I went and got Tommy John a couple years ago. I'm good to go. But there's more surgeries now, and like for high school players than there are for MLB players, and that's already a ridiculous number. But there's more in high school, and I don't even think your elbow and your tendons, they don't even fully form and set until you're in mid-20s.
Correct.
So you're already past the point where you would have gotten selected to, a college or gone right to the pros after high school. And to your point exactly, I don't think this pitch clock has anything to do with it. I think it's everybody is throwing max velocity. Like when we were growing up and when we played, like it was rare to see guys, even at major league level, that like threw consistently mid-high 90s.
Right.
There weren't a lot of them. Maybe a couple guys that came out of the bullpen did it for closers or setup guys, but like starting pitchers were not normally throwing 97, 98. And so we're at a point now like you were saying, like these guys are just throwing max velocity, whatever they have all the time. There is no pitch placement. There is no, I'm going to put the ball here. That we've taken speed and rotation for movement over actual accuracy in ball movement.
Yes, that's really the deal. Science has gotten so far into sports that it's taken some of the fun out of sports. But the people that are competing, especially when they're younger, they're not getting that scientific information early enough for their coaches who are either unpaid or just not knowledgeable enough to the science of everything to make sure guys are okay. We think that we're ahead of the time when people are talking about pitch counts and things like that. And don't get me wrong, you probably shouldn't be rolling around throwing 200 pitches in a game, as I did at one point in college. But I never had elbow issues, so take that for what it's worth.
I mean, you also didn't pitch year round.
No, I took some seasons off to do other sports, things like that. So yeah, the amount it's all those things. Those guys are they're throwing, they're playing summer ball, playing 70, 80 games in the summer from the age of 10 years old. Then they're going out and playing fall ball. Then they're working out in the winter to 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 practice their swing or add velocity or whatever it is. And you only got so many bullets before you need to put in a new clip.
Yeah, it's and the big problem is first of all, like to fix this issue, if you said, okay, we're going to put an emphasis on what used to kind of really matter, which was, it's great to have some heat, but we want accuracy of where you can put the ball. And if they made that an emphasis and who they were drafting, who they were playing, it would still take what, a decade to filter back down to youth baseball so that it could work its way back up. It's still going to take forever to do that. And not to mention the biggest problem, like I have in most things in life, is people. The second a parent or parents say to their kid, okay, we're not going to worry about throwing as hard as you can every pitch. We want you to be just a better pitcher, of being more accurate, have more pitch selection that you can throw. Just be more versatile in that, right? Don't be out here trying to throw heat every time. The, the second you
Right.
get a family that does that, you're just going to have another family that says, well, screw that. I'm trying to get my kid into college. So go out there and burn it.
It's one of those things that you know sports sports from a low level has become too professionalized. Like, period. That's just what it is. You know,
Yeah.
I look at you know we're worried about in football head injuries. But we also got kids running around all year doing the exact same thing because nobody thinks, oh, what about their knees? Thankfully in football they don't play contact football year round, but it's getting close to that. Same thing with baseball. You- Parents are putting their kid on these elite travel teams. It's not an elite travel team if you didn't have to make the team. If you got to pay to make it, it's probably not that elite these days.
Yeah. Pay to play.
you know, and and I get it. If you're paying an exorbitant amount of money for your kid, you want to see your kid play. Well, there's only so many spots. Or if you're only carrying 10 guys on a roster to make sure everybody plays, guess what? You're gonna get a lot of work that you probably don't need. Somebody's got to pitch.
So my question to you would be, one, I don't know where management comes in baseball. I don't necessarily mean the managers. I mean like GM and ownership and everything like that. When you have players like, so Cleveland had what's his name, Shane what, Bieber, go down.
Um, yeah,
Uh, they were counting on him. Goes down beginning of the season. Not to mention it's a contract year for him, so I'm sure his agent is super happy about that as well. But there's a piece gone. Spencer Strider for Atlanta, gone for the season. And Garrett Cole for the Yankees hasn't had surgery, but he's been sitting out this whole time to try to not get it. But at what point during this season is it inevitable that he's going to get it, which means the later he goes in the season now in 2024 before he gets surgery, which he's probably going to get, means he's going to be gone. Like if we get past All-Star weekend and then he has to get it,
He's lost next year.
yeah, we're not seeing him until 2026, if that, middle of 2026 probably. So like when does management of baseball look at its own team and its own investment and say, we're paying these pitchers a lot of money, we got to figure a better way to do this and to manage these guys? And do you go to like the like AAA schedule where obviously the baseball MLB is not going to go to that schedule where you go one place and you play 6 games for the week. But in AAA, you go someplace, you go for a week, you play 6 games, and your pitcher only pitches once a week. It's not a 5-day rotation. It's just you pitch once a week. So do they go to something like that? Because some of those guys, that's their life, and then they get to Major League Baseball, and they're like, I gotta pitch again.
I don't know. I'm a big believer that it is not the standard of what guys are doing in terms of it's not a usage thing. Nolan Ryan threw 100 miles an hour for his entire daggone life. Never had any arm trouble that we know of. Probably could still come out and pump 85 if you asked him to. He's like 70 years old.
That's from years of punching Ventura in the face.
So I really think Major League Baseball, they have the financial wherewithal to be able to know what the problem is, like to identify it, and they have the financial power to push that into the media so that it trickles down. Because the issue to me, we're seeing the effects in Major League Baseball because it's the star pitcher who undergoes the elbow surgery and needs it, and it's like, oh my God, this happened to them. But you said it. It's happening with high school kids and kids, you know, even before they get to high school. Like Tommy John is not even abnormal anymore.
Yeah.
Tommy John, when we were kids, it was like, oh my God, your career's over.
Yeah.
Now it's a rite of passage.
Yeah, pretty much. How many have you had?
Like Tommy John, right, for a pitcher right now is like a Sweet 16 for a girl, or quinceañera for somebody of Latina descent.
Yeah.
So right now it's like, hey, whatever. And realistically, Major League Baseball could sit there and start talking about, hey, we're trying to minimize this. Let's start getting people doing things the right way. Because if they start doing it the right way early, the people who have talent, they're still going to have talent. Like Steven Strasburg is going to throw 101 miles an hour. Aroldis Chapman is going to throw 101 miles an hour. All these guys are going to throw that hard if they have proper mechanics. They're just going to have proper mechanics without blowing out their elbow.
Yeah. Also, have we reached the limit of like human evolution for our bodies to do these things?
I think here's the thing: your muscles can get bigger. You obviously can get fatter. Your tendons are your tendons. I think the amount of torque that they can withstand is pretty standard, and I don't think that gauge is going up. It's the same thing with ACL injuries.
Yeah, they're all finite numbers. There's only so much you can do.
And I think that's the limit of human capability is not in the musculature. It's in the tendons and ligaments.
Yeah. You can lift all the weight you want. Your tendon ain't getting any bigger.
Correct.
So going from the limits of human evolution, we'll go to the NBA playoffs, where we have the limits of reffing de-evolution. I watched the guy literally walk the ball up the court the other day. He walked the ball, dribbled, walked again, looked, dribbled again. Nothing was ever called. No call at all. The ref had a plethora of choices. he selected none. So we'll go over the NBA playoffs here. We'll start with the Eastern Conference because I'm trying to keep my misery till the end here. So Eastern Conference, first round here. So I think we still have what? A game tonight? So I think there's a game tonight. Or two games tonight. Two games tonight. So we got Bulls Heat tonight.
Get in.
And then Kings Pelicans. First of all, Golden State.
Sayonara.
Thanks for the memories. Klay Thompson just decided,
want to get full John Starks, huh?
Which John Starks, though?
I'm talking Game 6, Game 7, 1994 John Starks.
Then, yes.
Love him. Yes. Love John Starks.
He was like, you know what? I'm going to start this vacation now.
Love John Starks. I don't want him coming after me down the road, but that was rough as a 13-year-old in New York City at the time.
Klay Thompson was missing shots like he's Angel Hernandez, but we'll get to that later.
Wow.
So whoever wins tonight in the Bulls Heat has to play the Celtics. Does it really matter? Is it an inevitability considering Jimmy's out for the Heat as well for a while?
Does not matter. This does not matter. Not a chance. Boston in 5.
So, okay. I agree. So,
and I'm being nice by saying 5.
All right. I'll write it down here. So we have Celtics. Yeah, I don't really foresee whoever they go up here really.
If it was Jimmy with the Heat,
that'd be a different story.
I'm like, okay, now we're gonna have an interesting series. Just if for no other reason that Boston's got to think about last year.
True.
But
very
right
true.
now, no Jimmy. Yeah, and they're probably not even gonna get him.
No.
I got the Bulls tonight.
Bulls tonight. Okay, so you got the Bulls tonight. Doesn't matter losing to the Celtics. 4-5 matchup. Cavs Magic.
Ooh.
The dreaded 4-5.
Ooh. Donovan Mitchell healthy again?
I think he's coming back. Yeah. I think the Cavs have this one. I think this is actually going to be one of the better series in the first round. But I have the Cavs in this one.
So I see this as being a long series of not good games. I think you're going to get a good amount of blowouts, 15, 20-point wins, swinging back and forth between the teams.
Okay.
That's how I see this.
Which is could very well be true. So yes.
So yes, if it's going to be a long series, if that's how we're saying it's going to be a great series, yes, I think it could go 7. But I do not think that we're going to have like 5 games that come down to the wire or overtime. I think
there's not going to be a lot of single point differences between these games. One of them's going to just kick the shit out of the other one in each game, and then last man standing.
Correct. It's going to be like Donovan goes off for 45, along with I just went blank on his Robin, and then Paulo's going to go off for 40. It's going to be days like that. They're just going to keep answering each other.
So who do you got, Cavs or Magic?
I'm gonna go Cavs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Cavs. I'm not rooting for the Cavs, but I'm gonna go Cavs.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying rooting. I'm just we're going logical picks here.
Oh, I want them.
Now 3-6. I don't know. To me, 3-6 sounds like the trap series. So we have the Bucks and the Pacers.
I think it's the hardest series to call.
You would look at it and go, it's probably the Bucks, but this is the one that gives me the biggest pause when I look at it.
So I said the previous series, the Cavs and the Magic, was the series that's going to have the biggest swings in, from game to game, potentially how like size of victory, margin of victory. I think this series like overall, there's no outcome that would shock me. I
Yeah.
think every outcome is in play. Like the Bucks could sweep this series. The Bucks could get swept in this series. It could go seven. Like everything is in play.
Yeah. That's why I say this one's the hardest to pick because it's like to your point. I could see this being a complete shit show in either direction, and I can also see it going the distance and coming down to the end of Game 7 as well.
Absolutely. I think no matter what, the Bucks have an issue right now with Giannis's health.
Yeah.
So the Pacers have their number.
It's consistency. Is it going to be? Is he even going to be in there for the whole series?
Oh, he's not starting the series. He's
Oh,
already out for game one.
but yeah. So exactly, that's what I'm saying. He's not going to be in there the whole series, but like the rest of it, when does he come back? Is he going to be back for Game 2? Is he come
I,
back for 3? Like who knows?
I
And then
know.
even then, how much is he playing when he's in? Then is he going to be managed? So I'm going to go. I don't want to go chalk. I'm going to go Pacers
I was going Pacers as
for the
well.
upset. All right, so we'll both take the under on that one there.
Halliburton and his broke looking jump shot. It goes in, but damn.
Goes in. It don't look good, but hey, listen. At this point, we're for anything, whether it's work, sports, I will take. You know, I'll take a
Results.
successful results. I'll take results. It may look like trash, but I'll take it. Oh, here and now we get to your favorite round or series. Knicks Sixers. This
I
is
I
this is
know
old school. This is old school.
I know we're not on the family of networks, but orange and blue skies, baby, orange and blue skies.
Fucking Homer, of course.
It's, even with Embiid, and Embiid is a huge Embiid is the only reason that this isn't a five game like a gentleman's sweep. One, I don't know if Embiid can stay healthy for an entire series. Two, the Knicks are one of the few teams positioned to at least slow him down with the way they play defense and
They
their
have the
big men.
defense. That's what the Knicks are a defensive team.
They have it. Somehow they find a way to put enough points on the board. I don't know, like who Jalen Brunson sold his soul to become a 30 point a game guy in the clutch right now. But he did, and I'm just hoping he's got 4 rounds of it left in him.
We'll see. Embiid should just be happy that this isn't 93 Knicks because he would not make it the entire series.
He wouldn't play if this was 93 because in 93 he would play. But yeah, you're right. He wouldn't make it.
He wouldn't make it.
He,
The good old days of NBA basketball where people got into fights and refs just came out and was like, hey, jump ball right here, let's go. Like nobody got kicked out, nobody got suspended. They're just like, hey, come on,
guys, we got a game to finish.
we got things.
That's all.
Let's go.
We got a game to finish and dinner to get to.
Yeah, let's go here. I got dinner reservations. Stop dicking around. Okay, so Eastern Conference, we have moving on Celtics, Cavs, Pacers, Knicks. So that's our Eastern moving on. Western, again, this is another one. So we have Kings, Pelicans tonight for the privilege of playing the Thunder in the first round. Does it matter who? Or is it just going to be Thunder?
So I was looking up some stuff today, and oddly enough, both of these teams play the Thunder pretty tough. But I'm taking the Thunder because one, Sacramento, if they win, they don't have Malik Monk, I don't believe,
Nope.
and they don't play defense, so I don't think they can handle it. The way the Thunder play. The Pelicans, no Zion, so it's not gonna matter. So I'm
No, he's out. So and we're back. Um Thanks, technology.
That was great.
So we ended at a perfect spot there anyway. So Thunder we have in the first one there, and then we have 4-5 matchup, Clippers Mavs, which would compared to what we said 4-5 for Cavs Magic being an interesting one. This one might be my least favorite matchup. So I'm gonna go Clippers just because I want to see the owner continuously behave as if he is on cocaine at all times.
Gotta love billionaires that are passionate about their sports.
He's passionate about something. I don't know if it's basketball, but he's definitely passionate about something.
Um, you know what? It should be the Clippers. I'm taking the Mavs.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
taking Luca and Kyrie to just they're gonna be like Durant and Booker last year, except figure out a way to win it.
Okay. So you're
Well,
so you're,
win the
so you're going
series.
flat Earth on this series. Okay.
Yeah, flat. Well, they need the flat Earth. They need
They,
it.
they need it. They need
So,
something. They need somebody in all
with that
black Air
said,
Force Ones.
what about some black base stealing gloves?
There we go.
Talk you
How,
down.
how many pairs? 60? Got 60 pair of these. You may run like Hayes, but you bat like shit.
Whew.
Now we have 3-6 series. We have Timberwolves and Suns, which I constantly forget that KD is on the Suns.
He's legitimately like the plastic man. I know that was Stacey Augman's nickname, but
Yeah.
except for the fact that he gets hurt, so plastic would bend and meld a little bit better. Um, are we getting like Brooklyn series against the Bucks, KD,
I don't think so.
or
I don't
or are
think we're
we?
ever getting that again. I don't think that guy
Uh,
exists anymore.
is okay. Are we getting a good KD and like Devin Booker who's going to take over a game?
If Booker just takes over, I think the Suns. But if he and the rest of the staff are trying to like placate to KD to like keep him involved and have him be in charge, I don't see things going well. I see it Timberwolves for sure.
We said the Knicks play D. The T Wolves, except for Cat, play D.
Yeah,
And Cat is at least long.
he is. He
Problem.
has other things that he helps out with. So he doesn't necessarily have to be great at defense. He has other things he can help with. So
Well, the problem though, but he does have to, because there's so many guys on in Phoenix. If Beal is playing, he's gonna have to guard one of those three.
yeah, I still think
Like
Timberwolves.
I'm taking the T Wolves as well.
Okay.
But another series, I wouldn't be shocked.
No. Yeah, this is like the other 3-6 series. This is another Bucks Pacers where anything that happens, I'd be like, yeah, no, that seems about right.
Right. No matter what happens, I'm gonna be like, I should have seen that
Yeah,
coming.
I knew it. I just didn't say it. I was waiting till now. And then my complete walking nightmare for the next few days, Nuggets Lakers. I'm contractually obligated to make my selection. So I'm clearly picking the Lakers, knowing damn well that it is a absolutely losing cause, that they are not going to win.
They should not win. They shouldn't.
Although they shouldn't have gotten as far as they did last year as well. But that was just them giving me hope for no particular reason, so that I can just hate my life this season.
So here's what I will say. I think the Lakers have a better chance of winning against the Nuggets this year than they did last year.
Hmm.
They won't get swept.
I'll take it. I'll take a small victory. Not being
They won't get
swept,
swept.
I'll take it. I mean, logic tells me Nuggets. Heart tells me Lakers. So yeah, I'm taking Lakers for the upset of the century. Won't happen, but hey,
I will take the Nuggets in any series that they have home court advantage unless the other team is clearly superior to them.
mm-hmm. We'll see how it goes. So here we have Western Conference. We have Thunder, and then we're split on Clippers, Mavs, Timberwolves, but not surprised if the Suns win. Logically, we are both going with the Nuggets. I am going contractually with the Lakers. So there's our opening
Thunder.
round. Kobe.
I went Mavs.
I think that was the only ones we were really different on was Clippers, Mavs. Everything else we were pretty much
Yeah, I mean,
on par together with. But we'll see. We'll find out tonight who the last two in are, and then I think it's Monday. It starts for the playoffs for the next how long is it? 7 months of the NBA playoffs. Your playoff season is almost as long as your regular season.
It is. It is.
But you know what else is almost as long? The first round of the NFL draft, which is where's it at this year? I don't even know.
Detroit, baby.
Oh, that's right.
8 Mile.
I forgot.
8 Mile.
It is. I forgot it's in Detroit. Well, congratulations to them, and also congratulations to the Lions yesterday for their uniform release that got leaked beforehand, and then they made a video essentially making fun of it that it got released. And then sliced in a picture of Goff, who was recorded at, when he was first seeing the uniforms. He's like, I got to take my pictures out so I can leak these. So they put everything on Goff for getting things leaked.
That's smart. Nobody's gonna care that it was a star quarterback.
And he didn't do it anyway, but it was just funny that they pinned the blame on him. And also, congratulations to the Browns for having a hype video for switching to a white face mask. The most Brown thing ever. Hey, here's a hype video. We got new uniforms. What'd you do? Well, we have white face masks again. Okay. And yeah, that's it.
That's like did they call somebody up and they were like, hold on, I got a guy on the other line for some white walls.
You want to be the manager of the Cleveland Indians? I don't know. Can I get back to you? I got the other guy on the other line about some white walls. At least say you're from the Yankees. So, first round here, we won't bore everybody and go through every pick, but we'll go through some here. So, the Bears have the first and the 9th pick because they got the first from Carolina because that wasn't a horrible decision last year by them. Excuse me.
Talk about things not aging well.
Oh my god! Oh wow, that was
Carolina. Woo!
Yikes! Yikes on bikes. So the Bears have the first and the 9th pick, and if I'm them, I'm not trading out of either one of those positions. Maybe the 9th one. Maybe if you can get some more picks, but I think they're in a good spot here. They can get the people they really need, and I think they actually did a really good job in free agency. So now's your opportunity. Let's see what they do here and who they pick. But I think where they're at is a good idea. What are your thoughts on who they maybe not who they should go for, but what they need the most?
I think the Bears are going to potentially trade up it with the 9th pick.
Try to go up for more picks.
They have not for more picks. If they have targeted an edge rusher, a tackle, or a wide receiver to pair with DJ Moore, I could see them trading up to ensure that they get the guy they want in that second slot.
Mm-hmm.
Or all of a sudden there's a run on receivers, and they're sitting there saying, we can't go back any further and get the wideout that we want.
True.
Now maybe they don't care. Maybe they say all these wideouts are going to be great anyway, and somebody come up and stupidly grab one of these quarterbacks.
Well, I think number 2 is the Commanders, who will most likely pick a quarterback. Number 3, I haven't seen this in 35 years. Number 3 is the Patriots, who will probably pick a quarterback. The first issue, or something you could move up to do like you're saying, Cardinals at 4. Are they picking another quarterback? Or are they who else do the Cardinals need?
The Cardinals are not picking a quarterback.
So if you're the Bears, so at number 9, that would be who you would try to go with. Be like, hey, well, let's swap 4 and 9, and we'll give you our second round pick or something, so that we can move up, because that's kind of your first competition for not picking a quarterback.
So here's what I think is interesting. What if the Patriots do the most Bill Belichick thing when they finally are in position and have a need at quarterback, and still trade back out of it because they look and they say, you know what? None of these quarterbacks are worth the number 3 pick in the draft for what they're going to produce for us and what we need to do.
Yeah.
What if we just back up a little bit and we later in the first round, early in the second round, we end up with Michael Penix or any quarterback. We end up with the next Brock Purdy as a second round pick. I know Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. Or we find the next Tom Brady, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But we actually bolster our team because we get a bunch of picks because we need help everywhere.
I would be all for that, because at number 6 for the Giants, I think they should do the same thing. I keep seeing where they're looking at a quarterback, they're looking at receivers. If I'm a Giants fan and the Giants stay at 6 and they pick a quarterback or a receiver, I'm asking for a refund for my season tickets. I'm burning everything I have, because essentially you're telling me you're not trying anymore. The Giants don't need a quarterback. I mean, they do, but they need an offensive line. They need a defensive line. You could draft whoever you want. If you don't have a running back that can run for a yard, or a quarterback that can't but throw to his first read because 8 seconds later he's about to be, physically assaulted in the backfield, doesn't matter who you have at quarterback. Doesn't matter who you have as skill positions. If you don't have time, it doesn't matter. So if they stay at 6 and draft a quarterback or receiver, I would throw a shit fit. Giants should trade back and get more picks because they need more people. And to your point, the Patriots should drop back as well and get more picks because they need more than a quarterback. Is not making, you're like, oh, we're so close. If we only had a quarterback, no, you need a lot. So
the problem is everybody thinks about this the other way though, and they think about it is, what if I don't get that good quarterback and somebody else does? I'm just going to be remembered for not taking the quarterback, i.e., the Chicago Bears when they took Mitchell Trubisky instead of Patrick Mahomes.
True.
Or what was that, Patrick Mahomes draft?
I think, yeah, that was that one. Yeah, I believe it was.
Was that also the Deshaun Watson draft?
I think they were all in there because Patrick was fifth?
He was 10.
Yeah,
he was picked 10.
But he was,
I don't remember which number quarterback he was.
4th or 5th quarterback picked. Like, there was a few people ahead of him. I just think you have to look at and say, what do we need? Like any of these teams, really, you have to look at, say, what else do we need? Are we a quarterback away? Then yeah, go for it. But if it's not just quarterback, then you have to get the best bang for your buck, because the Chargers don't need a quarterback.
Yeah, the Chargers are trade. That's where somebody's going to trade up.
Yeah. If somebody went to the Chargers and be like, "Hey, we'll give you, this, that, and the other thing this year and next year for your number 5." I'm the Chargers. If I'm Harbaugh, okay, great, let's go. Here you go. Because you have like that, you have your guy. You can now focus on the other things you need, not just a receiver or a tight end or some edge rusher. You can get more of what you need. Um, Titans are at 7. Titans are another one. They need a lot. I don't know how a team 2 or 3 years ago that was like, did they have the best record or second best record
Uh,
in the AFC? Like they were a very good team for 3 or 4 years, and then all of a sudden, the last 2 or 3 years have just looked absolutely terrible.
yeah, they didn't have the best record because they were always behind the Chiefs. But yeah, they were there.
Yeah.
They were knocking on the door. Um, I think who, who it's the Chargers. Who'd you say has the sixth or seventh pick?
So Chargers have 5, Giants have 6, and then Titans at 7
Titans at 7. They're the team. To me, they're the team most likely to trade up.
to get
Well,
somebody.
besides the Vikings, to get a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just have a feeling the best quarterback in this draft is going to be like the fifth or sixth one taken, regardless of whether that's in the first round or the fifth round or the second round.
Yeah.
You know, and I think teams are making huge like I think they're making huge mistakes when they don't do that because when they don't let you know when they don't let guys fall to where they need to fall. I know quarterback is a valuable position, but I think quarterback is overvalued in this league at this point because I don't see a lot of teams like hoarding quarterbacks either. Like the only team that hoards quarterbacks anymore is the freaking Packers. Like the Packers are going to draft a quarterback in like the second round,
Yeah. And they're
and
going
he's
to be
going to
like, we'll see
be
you in 4 years.
and he's going to be really good. And then he's going to play one game or two games at the end of the year when Jordan Love gets hurt in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the Seahawks are going to sign him to a massive deal, and he's never going to play because they're going to draft like a third rounder who is better than the guy.
So do you think people reaching for quarterbacks, do you think that's, like you said, because these teams don't want to be looked at or be like, oh God, we missed on X?
I think I
Like,
think
does
yes,
the
they don't want to.
does the fear of missing out override the fear of getting what you need to actually make your team better?
I think the fear of missing out trumps the fear of being wrong because they're always wrong, or like 90% of the time they're wrong. How many quarterbacks have been taken in the first round over the last 20 years?
Yeah,
And how
misses are always higher than hits.
and how many of them played with the team that drafted them for more than 5 years or for more than 10 years?
Not many.
Well, at quarterback, I'm gonna rate that as a miss.
Because you've given up a massive draft pick. You've paid a lot of money for no return on investment.
Like I feel like at every other position, your hit rate is way higher. Like the only reason the quarterback position is so valuable because there's only one on the field. So when you're wrong, it hurts, and when you're
Yeah.
right, it's tremendous. You know, it's not easy. I
When
don't
you
know.
when you hit, you're like, when you got Patrick Mahomes, you got it.
Right, right.
When you pick what's his name, who was on the Broncos a few years ago? Was he 6'8", whatever that, Lynch or
Oh, Osweiler.
yeah. When you draft that and then you pay that and then you get nothing out of it, that hurts. That hurts because that takes you a while. Jets are Broncos still haven't come back from it, so it takes a bit.
Look where the Jets are right now.
Yeah,
The Jets are paying a 40-year-old quarterback $50 million a year. Well, $40 million a year now because they got sprung off of a guy throwing the ball 70 yards down the field.
yeah.
But they forgot he needs to be protected. He needs to be taught. He needs to be developed.
He needs a lot. He needs somebody's mother. He needs a lot of stuff. So we'll finish off here with your beloved Jets, who are at number 10. So who do your Jets need? What do you want them to do?
What do I want my Jets to do?
Yeah, you have Aaron for at least one more year. What do you need? What do you want? What do they need most?
If I were the Jets, I am finding another wideout. I'm going with a wideout or tackle. If there's some line help that is the clear decision at 10, you gotta take that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you take a wide receiver. And the only reason I say that is you don't have as much draft capital. So I don't want to trade for like Brandon Ayuk or somebody like that who because you're gonna have to pay Sauce Gardner, you're gonna have to pay Garrett Wilson. You need somebody that's a little lower, and you don't want to get into the Bengals issue where one year behind the other you got to pay guys at the same position.
Yeah,
So
or lose them.
spread or lose them. You know that like that's the issue they have. They're like, oh, we can't pay T Higgins because we got Jamar Chase. So right now is where I'm like, yeah, this would be a good time to draft somebody so you can spread that money out a little bit. So I would go with a receiver. So receiver heavy draft. I'm thinking wideout or offensive lineman
I think
or
those are.
tight end
I think
or
those
tight
are
end.
or
Brock
tight end
Bowers
as
is
well. Yeah,
Brock Bowers is around. That would actually be my pick.
those are three are probably the best choices for them because the Jets are in a very unique position where they're not a bad team. They have a great defensive side of the ball. It's just that they put everything into Aaron Rodgers, and when that went down 8 seconds into game one, it was just crazy town after that.
You know what's scary? It's not that they put everything into Aaron Rodgers. I think that's what you do. It's that they had literally no game plan for, hey, what do we do with Zach Wilson if something happens to Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, there was no contingency plan.
Like
That's what I'm saying. They put everything to Aaron Rodgers, just thinking, hey, we got him. He's gonna be healthy. He's gonna play every game. We're gonna be great.
and you want to know what like freaks me out about them is they played like the Chiefs tough. They played the Chiefs just like so so it's like did they just happen upon that by accident in the second half of the Chiefs game? Like why weren't they able to continue to do some of those things that they did against the Kansas City Chiefs who
Yeah.
won the Super Bowl?
Well, I think they also got the Chiefs at the time of the year where the Chiefs were still
Chiefing?
figuring.
They were chiefing?
Yeah, they were
And,
chiefing. They were figuring that.
and I
There was
don't
no
and I don't
Taylor
mean
yet.
Kansas
So
City chiefing. I mean
yeah, Taylor didn't get there yet, so they weren't ready. So yeah, there's some of the first round there. Then we got Vikings, Broncos, Raiders, Saints, Colts, Seahawks, Jaguars, Bengals, Rams, Steelers, and then the rest of them. But those first 10 though, anybody there starts wheeling and dealing. I mean, that changes the draft for everybody because then you're going to see everybody else start scrambling. Who's like, oh shit, we got to move up. Oh, we need a quarterback. We need this. So yeah, those first 10 and what they do. Well, first 9 technically because Bears have 2, but so we will see next Thursday, right? 25th.
yeah,
So.
the Bears have somehow stumbled into the the right way to do things, with the exception of that they didn't trade Justin Fields early enough in the offseason.
No.
But outside of that,
Yeah. I think we're all just shell shocked because we've seen the Bears make good decisions. So we're naturally a little caught off guard by that one. But so speaking of being caught off guard and making good decisions and finances, so this past week we had the WNBA draft, and America's sweetheart, I guess, Caitlin Clark gets drafted first, and then she signs her contract, and for it goes up a little bit every year, but her starting year one salary is $57K. And as usual, everybody has lost their mind because these players don't get paid the same percentage. We keep hearing, we don't want the pay that NBA gets, but we want the same percentage that they get. And they're upset because, here she is, she's getting paid $57K compared to like LeBron's $50 million. I know I have my feelings on this. What are your feelings on the WNBA and their financial situation, we'll say?
I sit in the middle. I don't agree with the take, which I think is your take, which is you get paid what you bring in, and you guys aren't bringing in anything, so that's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that mode of thought. I also look at the people on the other side like, oh, they should be getting paid way more. And I want to be like, well, what's way more? Like they shouldn't be getting paid what NBA rookies are getting paid right now. They probably shouldn't even be getting paid half of what they're getting paid right now. Do I think they all should be making more money than they are when they come out? Absolutely. I think a couple of things that people have to understand is one, their season is much shorter.
Yep.
They play 40 games, not 82. So, and they still aren't getting paid nearly on the same level with NBA players, but take that into account. I think the NBA, when they first created the WNBA, made a huge mistake. I understand why they did it, but the mistake they made was that they started this as a summer league. Nobody cares about basketball in the summer except for the NBA finals. Nobody cares about it. Like it's the NBA playoffs, so you have this season starting right when the most important part of the NBA season is starting.
Correct. Yep.
Right as Major League Baseball is hitting its prime,
Yep.
and then it is having its postseason when NFL and college football camps are starting.
Correct. Yep.
So the NBA didn't do the WNBA any favors with where they positioned it in the sports world. They just were thinking, oh, we're not going to have this league trying to compete against our league because we don't want to. I'm hoping their thought was we don't want to drown them out. My thought is you should do what colleges used to do, where a way to bolster attendance is put them in with the NBA games. If they had done that 25, 30 years ago, I think this league, people would have seen it more, understood it more, appreciated what the basketball was.
Yeah.
It would have been a reason for more wives and girlfriends and daughters to accompany their brothers, fathers, husbands to basketball games. So it would have
I just like hearing the intro music while I'm waiting.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I think I was saying I thought it would have benefited both sides a little bit more. Would and
Yeah.
now so now you have this league that people are not as interested as they could be in, and now it is gaining interest. It's gaining traction, but they still play at a terrible time. Where people are leaving their home. So people in New York are going on vacation. So the Liberty may not get as many people out to games or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And the flip side of that is, so all these women are going to other areas, other countries, and they're making really good money. I'm not saying they're making NBA salaries, but they're making tens, 10 to 20 times as much as they were making here in the States. And I don't care what it is. If you're the best in your industry, you probably should be able to take care of your family off of that talent.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot, but I know $57,000 a year or $87,000 a year isn't taking care of your family. So you can't say if you're the NBA that you want to push the WNBA when 30 years in they can't take care of their family on the salary that you're paying them.
Yeah. The NBA needs to do so. NBA owns 50% of the WNBA, and I agree wholeheartedly. They need to move when their season is. And if they do joint weekends or joint games or joint, whatever they come up with, like you're saying, like I would have no problem with, figuring out some way to match them up with the NBA teams to bring it in, do a double header, do whatever you got to do to figure that out. My problem with, and again, I want the WNBA to be successful. I want these people to be successful. I want them to get paid, what they're bringing in for entertainment, right? Um, my issues are, like you were saying, they get paid what they bring in. So there's 12 WNBA teams. Every year, the NBA gives the WNBA $15 million, which is essentially goes to every team so they can pay their salaries of the players. 2022-23 season, WNBA brought in $60 million. That's $5 million to each franchise. The NBA brought in $10.58 billion. That's $352 million to each team. And most of that is, your advertising, your TV contracts, your whatever. That's before every other team gets their money from ticket sales, concessions, jerseys, what have you. So WNBA hasn't made a penny ever in their existence. And again, right, my problem is I don't want them to not be successful. It's just you get paid what you bring in. You don't bring in any money. There's nothing there. That's just economics. Not to mention, I've watched a lot of these games. I don't know how I've watched college basketball, women's basketball, and it's super fast paced and entertaining. And the WNBA struggles at times. So I think there's a lot they need to take a step back and look and say, what do we need to change? What do we need to correct? When do we need to move this to make this league actually successful? Because right now it's not, but yet right now, if you're going to do those changes, now's the time to do it because it's had the most interest. I think the last 2 weekends of the women's tournament had more views than the men's tournament. So you have the eyeballs on your league now. Now's the time, if you're going to make your changes, to do it. But if you're going to strike, you got to strike when the iron's hot.
Absolutely. And I think if here's the question. If you're the like you said, you want the WNBA to
Yeah.
succeed. If you're the NBA and you want the WNBA to succeed, like it is of immense value to you for the WNBA to
Yeah.
succeed, then you're going to what you really have to do is play this season
Yeah.
and then make a revamp. You have to see some movement in a positive direction, and you have to say, like you just said, strike while the iron's hot. A lot of these changes that I think we're talking about, like moving this season, like now, I don't even think the WNBA would need like double headers with the NBA. I think they could stand on their own,
Yeah.
but you better have them standing on their own in the winter when it's Caitlin Clark time,
Yeah.
not in the summer. You don't want to have their season getting interrupted when they're having momentum by the Olympics.
Yeah.
You don't want to have you don't
World
want to
Cup,
have all these
anything.
things in you don't want to have these things in the way while you're trying to build it. And so put them in in the traditional time slots, put their games earlier. I don't care what you do. It's not that hard to figure out arenas. I mean, I'm sure it is hard,
Yeah.
but what's one more, you know, group that's trying to slot in time to play games? Because one, when they need it, okay, they got to figure out the Garden or the Barclays Center. Until then, like the New York Liberty, they play at the Westchester County Center. They're gonna have a problem. They're gonna need the Barclays, or they're gonna need the Garden when they play Caitlin Clark this year, and they played
Oh
the
yeah.
Indiana Fever. And so now that but the thing about it is, what happens when she's not playing? What do those other games look like?
Yeah.
And and I think moving. I personally, if I was NBA, and again, it's easy for me to say this because it's not my money. You know what? I might say, hey, 5 years, we're gonna double. We're gonna double the incomes.
Yeah.
You guys are going to. We're gonna double. Maybe we have to triple them because we're gonna probably look to add. Well, they can't add games, but you gotta find a way to give these ladies incentive to stay here because what are they making in Russia? What are they making in China, Japan, Turkey, France, all these other places to go play basketball
Yeah.
when they're making good money. Like not for anything. There's a reason Brittany Griner was in Russia. She wasn't on a she wasn't on vacation trying to see the southern coast of Russia.
She definitely wasn't
She
on vacation after a while.
right. She was over there to make money.
I think you move it to match and mirror women's college basketball. Like whatever the
Well,
two big nights for women's college basketball is, the following day should be the big nights for the WNBA. If women's basketball, college basketball is moving up the charts now, okay, then you should be placing your product right behind it to go, hey, look, we're the next level right here. You
yep.
can play in
So
smaller arenas. You can play in universities, whatever you have to that are smaller for now. You can figure that stuff out. But yeah, until you need to move to the Garden, you can play at St. John's.
correct. You know, and and they have to find a way to market these collegiate stars.
Yeah,
One thing the women's game has, and this is why the women's game has gained popularity, while the men's game in college has suffered a little bit, is that these people are attracting a following because they go to college for 4 years.
yeah,
They get they gain traction with fans before they move on to another level of play.
yeah. They've built that fan base up.
So now, I think the best thing that happened to the WNBA is Caitlin Clark is in Indiana. She's probably one of the closest two teams to Iowa.
Yeah,
you know, so she's not going to lose that fan base. The only place that might have been better was Chicago.
I think she's good there. But yeah, the NBA and the WNBA needs to make long-term decisions because to increase the pay, they have to increase viewership, they have to increase sponsors, they have to increase, actual butts in the seats. And if now it looks like you've got a perfect storm to do that, then now's the time
You
to
better
do it.
capitalize.
Yeah,
You better capitalize.
capitalize on it now. Speaking of capitalizing on things and doing it now and getting things correct, our last topic for the day: Major League Baseball umpires are fucking terrible.
I'm gonna correct you. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't correct the host, but I'm gonna correct you.
Go right ahead.
Umpires, referees, officials, in general, they're pretty bad. Continue. You don't have to limit it to Major League Baseball, even though that's what today's topic will be.
Any official is terrible. No, I like. We all understand, right? We've all been there. We've all gotten on these guys. We're all human. We all make mistakes, and they're doing their best. However, some people are worse than others. And you take baseball where you have set yourself a boundary, right? Your strike zone, and everybody has a little different take on it. The way some umps are positioned, they can't see everything. It's just gotten to a point now, and we'll talk about our favorite here in a second. But how long have we been watching baseball where it has the little strike zone box on the TV? How long has that been
Solid,
around?
solid 15 years, I'd
Yeah,
say.
it's all 15 years. We've gotten to the point where like they put the little dot to show where it crossed. Sometimes you'll get the little zone to see, how the color code to see how fast the pitch was. But so we have a box, we have a location, and we have a speed for what that last pitch was. But yet we're only 6 years into being able to call New York for review even. But to hopefully change and correct all this, AAA is using this, what is it called? ABS system. I think it's like automated balls and strikes.
Yeah, I
Where
believe that's what it's called.
essentially you still have the umpire back there calling balls and strikes, but each team now gets 3 challenges a game. And if you're correct in a challenge, then you get to keep your challenge. If you're incorrect, you lose your challenge. So basically, if you have 3 of them, and you can call 100 in a game, but if you're correct in every one, you keep getting your challenge.
As it should be.
As it should be. The only people that can challenge it are the pitcher, the catcher, and the batter. And it has to be done basically immediately. So if you're in the batter's box and it's like, oh, striking, you're like, no, that was a ball. You have to do it immediately. It can't come from the dugout. And then it shows up on the big jumbotron, comes across, it shows the location, says ball or strike, call was upheld, changed, and it takes seconds, right? You tap your head, nope, I don't like that. Ump looks up, shows on the video board, boom, it's done, right? Doesn't slow down the game. Maybe pitchers will like it, it'll help with that pitch clock, but it's not slowing down the game. It's not making it, terrible, where we shorten the games down and now we're going to expand them again. It doesn't really change anything, and it gets it right, which I think is the most important thing, right? Gets the call correct.
Yeah, it looks like the tennis in and out call.
Yeah, exactly. It looks exactly like that. That's what shows up on the screen. My thoughts on it are, other than I'm all for it and wanting it in Major League as soon as humanly possible, I like it because I think it can now be used. It can be used the minor league system if they want now, but when it gets to MLB level, you can use this system now as a legit grading system to the umpires. To say, we're not just going off of what it was challenged, we go off of every pitch, right? Because there's already websites that do this stuff that come up and say, oh, this guy was 98 correct on all of his calls for the game, or this guy was this, that, and the other. But you now can officially say we have a grading system just to go to you after the game. It says, here was today's pitches. Here's what percentage you got correct. Here's what you got wrong. And then you can have a point system like the NFL has, where if you're not a good ref, you don't get to ref in the postseason. It's the same thing that you can have here for baseball. You can have another system that says, all right, listen, this is how you're not good, so you're not going to get a promotion to be a crew chief. And then in game, sometimes it could be beneficial, because if you're making a call and you see something and you go, all right, that's a strike or that's a ball, somebody challenges it and it comes up and it goes, you were incorrect in your call. Maybe you can go, oh, okay, maybe I was wrong on that. I have to adjust my strike zone now in the game. Maybe it makes somebody better that way. So, I mean, what do you feel about this whole automated system?
I like the system that it's the way it's set up. I do kind of like having um an umpire back there. You need an umpire back there for
Yeah,
two reasons. You need a human being back there. One, obviously, for other potential plays at home plate.
correct.
But two, you need somebody back there in case technology, does what technology's done to us today. You got to have a fail safe there.
Technology never
Um,
fails.
but with that said, I think the system that they have in AAA, I think it's great. The biggest issue that MLB has and has always had for the last, you know, 40 to 50 years are the unions. And I say that plural.
Yes.
It's the players, it's the owners, it's the umpires all trying to like stake their claim instead of thinking about, and I understand it, but you have to understand the industry that you're in. This is an industry that people care about, but they don't know everything about.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in most situations where there's a union and ownership, conflict, the people don't care and they don't know. Here, people care about it. You got to think about what's best for the game, and obviously this would help the game because you want to get things right. There is a lot of money at stake for everybody involved,
Yep.
and you want to make sure you're doing things to try to put the best product on the field. And at this point, we can, keep the human element while giving it a little bit of a boost. I don't see there being any problem with this. It should be in Major League Baseball in 2025.
Yeah. I don't ever want this will be my old man get off my lawn rant. I don't ever want just straight robot automated balls and strikes. I like some of the human element in there, right? That's baseball, like sports in general. It's human element. So I don't ever want to get rid of having the ump back there. There's nothing wrong with using technology to help you out to get things like we're saying, get things correct, be right. And again, you can. There's nothing that says that you can't be a batter and get a called strike that you're like, I think that was a ball, and just not say anything. You just go, oh well, and just move on. So I think it's here to help the game, and Major League Baseball has changed their rules in the last couple of years so they can get stuff like this processed quicker. So we could have this next year, this system. We could have it next year. They've made it easier to tweak things. I mean, we've already seen it with the pitch clock where they change. They've lessened the time. So again, right? It's an addition to the way things currently are to make things better. And and we'll just say, you have people like, Angel Hernandez, that call he had against Houston, I guess, well, it was for Houston against the Rangers. It was what, a foot and a half off the plate?
Well, it's 6 inches off the plate. Just so people who may be listening get that. There's only about 2 inches between or 3 inches between the batter's box and the plate. So 6 inches is literally in the other box.
They showed Anthony Rizzo, who is like us in the lefty side of the box, and who is notorious for crowding the plate, we'll say. And they overlaid him on that pitch. Actually, in all those three of those pitches, they overlaid him. He was getting hit in one of them. That's how far the ball was out. Like again, I know he crouches the plate, but like he was going to get hit by that last pitch. And obviously Angel's not the worst, but
Yes, he is.
well, yes, I was trying to be diplomatic, but yes, he's the worst. But I think this is one of those things where the MLB goes, listen, he's already sued his own union twice. He's sued us. So we're just going to implement a system that, there's the buzzer. The purge has begun. So they implement this system to kind of self-correct because they're not going to get rid of, the union's not going to get rid of him. He's not going anywhere. So we're stuck with him and his just absolutely asinine calls. But maybe the system can come and help out. If I was a pitcher or a batter and Angel's behind the plate, I'm just tapping my head on every pitch. Just review it before the pitcher is in a windup. I'm gonna look back at him and be like, I want this reviewed.
I the, I have a feeling that next year, when this comes to Major League Baseball, Angel Hernandez is just going to toss anybody who asks for a review.
Oh, good. I hope he does. I hope he does, because then maybe they'll finally have like a legit cause to get rid of him. Be like, okay, buddy. If anything, we're trying to help you out, and you're just making it worse on yourself. So
he's going to be like, this guy. This guy came at me with an obscene gesture.
Yeah, yeah. Do you see this guy flipping me off? He's patting his head because he wants a review. Everybody in the stand. That'll be great for next year too. Just as soon as everybody, they announce the umpiring crew for the game, you'll just see everybody patting their head. Be like, can we get a review of who's behind home plate? Can we get this guy switched out?
It's a shame they've changed the intentional walk rule in MLB. It's not a shame, but for what I'm about to say, it's a shame. Like, I could see somebody getting so upset with Angel Hernandez that they revert back to like Little League and like travel ball high school antics of, you know what, we're gonna act like we're intentional walking this guy, and the pitcher throws a BB down the middle, and the catcher jumps out to the other batter's box and it just drills him like right in the gut.
Angel Hernandez, they could have old school put up the four fingers if they want him intentionally walked, where they had to throw the balls, to be balls on purpose, and he would probably still call one or two of those strikes. Strike one, like we're intentionally walking him. All right, strike two. But I'm hopeful to see this. I hope we get this new system. I think it would be great and beneficial. But I'm sure the union will fight it, and there'll be a big to do about it. But I think it's great for it. I love the pitch clock. It's made these games easier to watch. It's made the attendance has gone up. If we can just get the start of the World Series moved back, be great. I would love to see another daytime World Series. That's a whole other topic, but I would love to see the sun out for a World Series game, not first pitch at 8:30, so that the end of the game is, midnight.
I think that's such a tough thing. Like, I get it. It was easy to do 30 years ago. Like, nobody lived west of the Mississippi. It's starting to balance out. People are at work. If you want your game to have popularity, you got to put it on TV when people can watch it.
Yeah.
Jobs are smart enough to track people's what they have on television on their computers. How many clicks they make.
That's why you work from home. Don't got to worry about it. Well, that's all we have for today's show. That's it. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. You jumping on. We'll have to do it again. You want to come on next week?
Yeah. I think
we'll see what's burning in the sports world.
To be in a regular rotation.
We'll bring you on. We'll see what's burning in the sports world next week. Hey, well, if we do it next Friday again, we'll always have day one of the draft.
Yes.
We can review, right? We'll have some playoff games. Some will
we'll be a whole game, like 2 games into some series.
Some series will still be on game 1, but
the Sunday games will be going into game 2.
Thanks. Yeah, 6 weeks later, game 2 of the first round. Thanks, NBA. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and yeah, we'll get you on next time. Appreciate it, brother.
Sounds awesome. Love being here.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Enjoy your day. Go back to work.
You too.
I'm not going to, but somebody should.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Allegedly. Later, brother.
Later.
Well, that's it for today's episode, boys and girls. I hope everybody had a great time. I hope you enjoyed it, thought it was entertaining, informative. Tell us what you thought in the comments. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Do it. Do it now. A very special thanks to Josh Carter for joining. Loved having him on. Definitely have to have him on some more so that you guys can hear another voice, another set of opinions other than mine, because God knows I don't want to listen to myself for a whole hour. So enjoy yourself. Have a good day. It's Friday. Get out. Live it up. Enjoy the weekend. Have fun. Tell somebody you love them. Until next time, dig in. Go Mules.